Hey, this is Caleb I, and thanks for joining us here on Millennial Z for our 101 Guide to the Legendary Items in LOTRO, Part 2. Check out the description for timestamps on specific sections in this video. My goal is to get you the information you need without wasting a lot of your time, so check that out if you're looking for something specific. Alright, so last video we covered how to get your first LI and the basics of leveling, reforging, and adding relics. In this video, we're going to tackle obtaining new allies, the different ages allies come from, and what that means to you, as well as farming allies and maximizing your relics. So the first thing you want to know is that the ally you get at the Moria introduction is not going to last you forever. You're going to want to replace it every few levels at first, and then after a while you'll get into kind of a rhythm of replacing it every 10 levels, 65, 75, 85, 95, and then you're going to get to level 100. And everything changes then. There's an imbuing process that allows you to keep that LI forever, but we're going to cover that in part 3. Of course, you don't have to change your LI out at those levels. You can make them last as long as you want and just replace them when you feel the need. Now, you can get new LIs from mob drops. You're going to get tons of those. But they're not always what you're looking for. Sometimes there are other classes allies. So you can get them also from certain bartering vendors, the auction house, and of course you can craft them, or you could have them crafted for you. The quality of the allies at certain levels are broken down by ages. Your first item is from the third age, and that refers to the time period during the Lord of the Rings and some 3,000 years prior. The second age items are slightly better, and they are made from the era when the ring was forged. And the first age items are the best, and they're from the creation of Middle-earth up until the defeat of Morgoth, which was Sauron's boss, if you're not familiar with the Silmarillion. Yes, Sauron had a boss, and he made Sauron look like a toddler. But that's a whole different topic there. The differences in these items change dramatically after imbuement compared to before, so keep in mind that what we're discussing here only pertains to items before imbuement. Okay, so this is going to help you level from Moria up until level 100 and how to handle your allies during that time. The first stage items are the better quality items, and that they're going to give you more points to apply to your legacies than the second age does. And the second age is going to give you more points than the third. The better the ally, the more XP is required per level, but again, you're going to get more points to spend on your legacies. Specifically, the first age is going to give you 710 points once it's maxed out. The second age will give you 650, and the third age is only going to give you 590. The better quality items also give you a slightly better DPS, but it isn't enough to be a major game changer. As is consistent with the allies, your benefit doesn't lie in straightforward damage, but in the improvement to your skills in general. So as you level, is a first stage item really worth it? Well, probably not. If you come across one, by all means use it. But it's really not going to be worth putting a lot of time and effort into, because you're going to be replacing it probably every 10 levels or so anyway. And by the time you get your first stage maxed out to where you're getting that benefit from all those extra points, you're probably going to be close to or past the need for a new one. But that's entirely up to you. It's all up to your gameplay. As for me, I actually do tend to go for the first stage items because I'm a bit of an elitist as I level, and I want the quality of my gear to be top level within reason. But that's my personal choice. You can make yours. Now, as you quest, particularly with the epic quests, you're going to come across items such as Scrolls of Delving, Scrolls of Empowerment, Starlit Crystals, and Crystals of Remembrance. These are all supports to your legendary items. The Scrolls of Delving unlock an additional 10 levels, so you'll go from 60 to 70, and can only be used once per item. The Starlit Crystals upgrade just about all your legacies. There's a few exceptions, but they're most notably going to upgrade your DPS. The Crystals of Remembrance will add a slot for an additional legacy, but are also limited to one per item. The Scrolls of Empowerment are what you're going to need more of, and on a non-imbued item, they decrease the amount of points needed to improve a legacy, therefore increasing how far your points stretch and how many upgrades you can do. And this is where it ties in, where when 75 was the end game or 65. Your first stage weapon, had the benefit of having more points to spend, and then the scrolls of empowerment lowered the amount of points needed. So you could really just max out this item to be really beneficial. But of course, right now, as you're leveling through, again, it's not really that critical, but it's up to you. All right, so that covers a lot of ground, and hopefully it made sense. While the legendary item system allows for nice customization of playstyles, it can be a bit much for players to wrap their heads around it, so don't feel too bad if you're kind of stuck in that spot. We'll help you out. So let's take a look at the Relic Master. The Relic Master is used to deconstruct unwanted allies, farmed allies, or just old allies that you're ready to replace. They also let you perfect your relics while leveling and offer other rewards as well. When you talk to a Relic Master, the first tab is the Relic Forging tab. This allows you to combine lower quality relics into higher quality ones. It takes 5 relics of the same tier to make 1 relic of the next tier. You can do this in bulk by choosing Auto Combine at the bottom. It makes everything a lot faster. You can combine relics up to tier 9, which will then create tier 10 relics. The Deconstruct tab lets you deconstruct items as previously mentioned, but also some relics that drop in game will need to be deconstructed before you can actually get the relic. Now, the Melding tab allows you to create specific relics you may want using other relics and also the shards. The shards drop when you deconstruct an item with enough levels, and also by refining relics. Melding can be useful while leveling, but it's basically useless after level 95, as the endgame relics become specific rewards for reputation or otherwise, and are not something that you're going to obtain by melding. So for this reason, you can meld relics while you want as you're leveling, but refining them is going to pay off in the endgame because you can use the shards you get to purchase your Anphilis Scrolls of Empowerment, which are absolutely critical once you imbue your item. In general, you're better off saving your resources for level 100 when you'll begin to prepare your LI for imbuement, which brings us to the last section of the video. Farming LIs. They will receive a split of the XP that you're earning. This allows you to level trash LIs, which are usually third ages that you're getting from mob drops and so on, and you're going to do this for 2 specific goals. The first is the most critical, your legacies. You can level an item up to level 31 or higher, and then when you deconstruct it, you get to pick one of the legacies. These legacies can be applied to another item, but they do have a cap on them, so you can't use a legacy that's from a level 60 item and save it for your level 100 item. You're going to have to wait and farm level 100 items to get the legacies that you need to prepare for imbuement. But again, we'll take care of that later in part 3. So the other reason you're going to farm allies is for the relics. For this, you'll want to max out your level for the LI to level 60 before you deconstruct. This will give you a decent amount of relics, and also some of the XP will be preserved as a heritage rune that will help you boost your next farming LI and decrease the time spent leveling it. Alright, I know that was a lot for a 101 video, but hopefully it was a benefit to you as you level along and helps hone your understanding of the LI system and makes it a bit more complete. This is a relatively complex system, and there have been updates over the years. I did do my research, refresh some things before I sat down and made the video, but if anything is incorrect, please call it out in the comments below. You're not going to hurt my feelings, and as always, it's a great help to viewers if you provide a link to what you're referring to as well. All right, I thank you for your time, and happy hunting, guys. You can slot multiple LIs and